All right, guys, so today we're at East Side Cemetery in Martin, Tennessee. Straight across over there is a church, East Side Church, and this is a large cemetery here. They've got rows in between the graves. And that's that road over there. I'm not sure what that road is, but my GPS brought me in, and it goes on over the hill, and there's some old graves here, guys. But my previous video, I talked about uh, and showed you where my dad's cousin was buried in Sharon, Tennessee, which is not far from here. It took us about 15-20 minutes to get over here from Sharon, Tennessee. But my dad had told me that his cousin had a pre-planned out burial plot here in this cemetery, and we planned to be buried next to his parents. And said he had a stone here. I don't see it. Now, right here is the grave of his parents, Mamie and Alphys Bolton. Now, there is probably a spot right here. Obviously, there's not a headstone here. And that says Jane Thompson and Floyd Bevel. So I'm not sure about that. It's just the backside, nothing on the backside of their stone. I did buy some flowers I've got in the car. I was going to put on my dad's cousin's grave at the cemetery in Sharon, but they have a sign that says basically you can't put any flowers directly on the ground, and his stone did not have a place to put them. Well, this does have a stone place right there in the center. So the flowers I bought, even though I didn't know his parents, as you see, Miss Mamie passed away in 1972. She was born in 1898, passed away April 25th of 1972. And her husband Alphys passed away in 1961, so I wasn't even born until 1974. So, but I did buy the flowers to put on our cousin Bobby's grave, and I couldn't do it because of the rules there, and I didn't want to put them down and then they get picked up and thrown in the trash. But I'm going to put those flowers here just out of respect for him and for his parents, who, like I said, I obviously never met. I don't see a stone out here, so he may have changed his burial plans at some point, and maybe my dad just was not aware of that. Again, there's an empty spot here, it looks like, but there's definitely not a stone here, and he does have a stone at his other. So he may have changed his plans and had his gravesite moved to where it's at now. I hope that's the case. I mean, I'd like to think that he's buried where he wanted to be buried at. But I'm going to grab these flowers and just put them here because I don't want to waste them. And I couldn't put them at the other, like I said, guys, couldn't put them at the other cousin Bobby's grave because of the rules there. And they're just some little cheap flowers I bought at the dollar store on the way over here. Just mainly more about just the respect part of paying some respect so that they know they're not forgotten and so forth. And they're just some. I'm not great at picking out flowers, but that's what I'm not great at picking out flowers, but that's what I got. So I'm gonna put them here. This is the perfect place to put them. Look pretty. I don't know if there's any family remaining. Like I said twice already, I did not know them. Obviously, they passed before I was born, but I couldn't tell you probably when the last time any flowers were placed on his grave. Probably have never been any placed on my dad's cousin's grave. And I am going to get one of those. They make those They sit on top of the stone. They actually sit on top of the stone, a flower arrangement. So I'm gonna try to get one of those and come back there and put some flowers on his stone there. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to come over here and see for sure whether there was another stone here or not for my cousin, our dad's cousin, and I don't see one. So I'm gonna take some photos to show to my, or I can show to my dad, and then I'll get out of here. But this is a very large. Let's go over and look over here, guys, real quick while we're here. A lot of these are a little bit newer graves, but they're back here in the back in this section. There's some pretty old graves back in here. I'm sorry if the wind noise is cutting in. This looks like a pretty large, maybe like a family plot or something. KC Turner. That's what you have, the KC or Case, whichever it is. Family plot here. The old trees, guys. Those trees are a couple hundred years old. Some of them at least. At least 100 years old. Old Martin, George W. Martin, 1838 to 1913. Again, guys, this is East Side Cemetery, Martin, Tennessee. Looks like the Martin family plot here, George W. Martin. I don't know. I'll have to do some research and see what they have to do with the city of Martin. Not 100% sure. In 1901. Some very old graves here, guys. And you can see we're up on top of the little hill there, sort of in the middle, and you see how far it goes over, all the way over to what is, if you can see that far, is a cornfield on the back side of the cemetery. Like some of these graves are turned over, or stones, headstones. Dr. John Heath, born October 18th, 1863, and died February 20th, 1894. Stone has the Masonic logo on it. It's an interesting stone. Nancy Lawler and Martin Lawler died in 1851, and it looks like Miss Nancy passed in 1885. See, this is the Lawler family plot. The Clemens. A lot of these family, marked off family plots here, out here in this area. Looks like the Bowden. You have the Hall. Freeman. Some of these markers are very, very old and very, very hard to read. Obviously that has come off the base and now it's propped up below. I can't make out any of that. Maybe you'll be able to on video. Some of these stones, guys, are over 100 years old. As you know, very hard to read. This was the Martin family plot here. It says George W. Martin, a man of broad cultures and scholarly attainments, who appreciated the value of education and right training, and gave of his time, thought, and means to the upbuilding of religious and educational institutions. And Martha W. Martin, her life was one of grace and dignity, marked by something faith. I can't hardly make it out until the peaceful something tide merged into a glorious dawn. It's hard to read some of these. Of course, my eyes are not great either. You see that George W. Martin passed in 1913, and looks like his wife, Martha Lee Williams, passed in 1936. All right, guys, I'm going to get on the road. I just wanted to show you some of these older graves here in this old cemetery here in Martin, Tennessee. And we will catch you guys on the next one.